Hi, everyone. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. This is
Oh.
Cecil Lawson.
I
Hi,
can hear you.
I can
Hi,
hear you.
Cecil.
This is
Hello.
Okay, I'll go on mute now. Thanks for having us, though.
No worries.
Happy to be here.
All right.
I can hear you. This is Cecil Lawson.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. This is
Hello.
Okay,
I'm glad that I was muted. My dog is snoring in the background.
My school district is talking about the school reopening plan tonight. And it was put as one of the first items in the agenda, and then they moved it. And of course, the discussion just started right now.
Margarita, which school district?
Oak Grove,
Oak Grove, okay.
South San Jose. At the rate it's going, I think we might just be the entire year virtual. All right, Diana. So we know that Carol will be joining us, and anyone else that we know, any commissioners that we know are wait for.
Carol should be joining us soon, and we'll have quorum.
Okay.
Where no one has indicated that they would not be available. Oh, there we go. So we have quorum. We'll just wait for Carol.
Yeah. We have a lot of guests today.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioners will be meeting a lot of new city staff and some of our partners as well.
Should we do an introduction?
Yeah, when we
Yeah, when we start.
yeah.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Diana. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys. From Zoom to Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Just finished one.
Me too.
How's everyone been?
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
Hanging in?
Recovering.
Recovery's
Okay.
right.
Okay, I am going to, looks like we have everybody here, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I'm with the comments of this regular meeting will be conducted via telecommunication and is compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act and the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20. This regular meeting will not be physically open to the public. The commission meeting, its members and participants will meet via Zoom from remote locations. Okay, I think that covered that part. So can we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner King?
Here.
Commissioner Dooley? I know she's there.
Present.
Commissioner Fields?
Present.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Present.
Commissioner Yoshikawa?
Here.
Chairperson Hoffman?
Here. Okay. So next, do we have any announcements?
None. No announcements.
Great. We need to, next would be to approve the minutes from the regular meeting on October 8th. Do I have anybody who would like to make a motion?
Second.
Oh,
Oh, did I go?
I didn't hear who made the motion.
No.
I'll
Motion to
make the
approve.
motion.
okay, so Bill made the motion and duly approved it.
Sure.
Okay.
So Commissioner Dooley, we have a little trouble hearing you. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just me.
No, it could be a connection issue. Is that better?
That's better when you're closer, maybe.
My
Oh, that's better.
plug was loose.
Oh, now you're great.
Okay.
Perfect. I just want to make sure everybody can hear everyone. We have a lot of people on the call today. So, all right, we will keep proceeding. Are there any communications?
No communications received.
Okay. And anyone have any oral requests? Nope. Okay. Then we'll go next to reports from representatives. And we will start with Jennifer Weeks from Santa Clara County Librarian.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Diane Roche, and I am here on Jennifer's behalf. And November has been a busy month. So starting with now, all 7 of our community libraries are offering lobby service. So this allows, especially with the time change and the weather, is getting colder. So this allows our patrons to come into the libraries, into our lobbies. Campbell really is the innovator in opening up all of their first floor to our patrons, for patrons to be able to come in, pick up their holds, browse a limited collection of new books, movies, and be able to use our new self-check machines. So this has proven to be a very popular service. Moving on, we all know we recently had an election, but what you may not know is that not only did all of our libraries serve as a ballot drop-off location, but our office in Campbell, the Service and Support Center, as well as the Milpitas Library, we were also voting locations. So just another way that the library is contributing to our communities. And then looking at a snapshot of our key services, ever since the pandemic hit, which I would say started in March with shelter in place, there are many different services that the library has been offering to our communities, starting with making ourselves available. So even while we were in shelter in place, we were offering reference and account services via phone, chat, or email. Patrons were able to reach us. I'm not going to go through everything, but we offer virtual programs 7 days a week or 6 days a week. While we had heat waves, multiple heat waves and the fires, we served as official cooling centers and clean air centers, as well as even an emergency resource center for the fire victims. But then as some of the restrictions started to ease up, we began offering curbside services starting in June. And that has transitioned, and kind of grown and evolved to also now include our lobby services, which we're very happy to be able to extend all of the different types of in-person services that we can offer our residents. And a few of our libraries are also offering computer access. So we know that that's one thing that some of our patrons really miss having access to, is just being able to come into a library to be able to use the computer and be able to print out some of their documents. But another really important service that we just started offering was homework help. And this is partnering with a third party where they're working with pods of students. So they can sign up with us and we can offer from grade school all the way up through 12th grade, where we can help them with homework. So just, kind of a quick snapshot of the many different types of services that we continue to offer. Looking at our numbers from October, our curbside numbers have been going down, but that's only because we have greatly expanded the number of opportunities for our patrons to be able to pick up their holds, whether it was previously walk-up service and now lobby service. Our physical items that have been checked out, we're still seeing double-digit growth. So in October, we saw an 18% increase in the number of items checked out and 19% in the number of items that have been returned.
Wow.
And programs, again, we saw a 9% increase in the number of programs with a 16% increase in the number of total views. And our ebook circulation just continues to be popular. It's just so convenient for patrons to be able to check out. There's no due dates to remember or no trips to the library to return. So that service continues to be very popular. And I would just like to close this with, we receive all kinds of compliments, comments, suggestions from the public, but this one I felt was really telling. And it's first off, just a huge, huge thank you for keeping our family sane with curbside pickup. We use Campbell most often, and getting new books every week has been a bright spot in our week. Our family is continuing to be very careful, even though things are opening up. So I hope that curbside service will be available for the duration of the pandemic. Again, thank you for all you have done and are doing. You are heroes to us. So I think that sentiment really extends to all of you. Thank you so much for all of your support of the library. And that is the end of my report. Are there any questions?
Actually, I just had a quick question on the the COVID safety protocols with books. Like sorry, I just was more curious than anything about what is the protocol for handling books and when they're returned and given out.
So we are, when items are returned, they go into quarantine.
Okay.
So currently we have them quarantined for 4 days.
Got it.
And items are returned.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
I wanted to make sure, going back, we need to have a clear approval of the minutes. It was a little bit wonky. So for the record, I know Bill made the motion and Jennifer seconded. But Bill, can you clearly make the motion to approve the October the 8th minutes?
You're muted. Bill,
Oh, you're muted.
Here we go. Can you hear me? I hereby make a motion to approve the October 8th meeting minutes. Anyone second? Approve?
Second.
No opposition?
No.
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Diana, should we just take a roll call vote just to have the,
Sure,
since there's a motion, can we take a roll call vote, please?
yes. Commissioner Chase?
Is this whether all in favor? Is that what we're saying?
It's
Yeah.
approval of it's just, yeah. So if you're in favor, if you are in favor of approving the minutes, then you say yes, yay, or against nay.
Commissioner Dooley?
Yay.
Commissioner Chase? Commissioner Fields?
Yay.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Yay.
Commissioner Yoshikawa?
Yay.
And Chair Hoffman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Diane, thank you very much. I'm so excited that the library is doing what it does, and I use it electronically. So, which you can get anything you want anytime. So I think the libraries are really, I'm glad to hear the feedback and the things that the public is saying, because you guys make a difference. You keep the community, one of the things that keeps the community together. So thank you and your team for what they do. And so we will go to our local librarian, Peggy Tomaso.
I'm going to share my screen. Oh, it says that I've been disabled. Can someone share my PowerPoint for me
Sure. Or you know what?
or let me post it?
Yeah.
there
Cecil,
it is.
are you there, Cecil? Can you let Peggy share her screen? Can you enable that for her?
Yeah, just 1 second. I'm on it right now. Give me about a minute.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, you should be able to right now.
Okay. Am I supposed to see my screen? I guess that's,
Yeah, so you'll,
okay. And I got to pull up my, there it is. Okay.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. The architects have come up with 2 different building plans for the city council to consider, which they're going to be doing in December at their December meeting. And after that presentation to the council, the architects will then present it to the commission and to the community. And I also wanted to mention something really that I was excited about. The Campbell Library received recognitions for their services to the Campbell Unified School District. The district recognized us at their November board meeting. They said we have been a friend in need with our digital accounts and our summer reading kit distribution. So we were really happy to be able to help the schools during this time as well. I just wanted to share some pictures with you. This is a picture of Nicole. She's our children's supervising librarian. She's outside manning our door, keeping our count so people can maintain their 6-foot distance when they're in the library. But we're now open on the upper level. And just for your information, there's no materials on the level except our media materials and our language collections. So we brought up things from the lower level. We brought up all the new books, all of our bestsellers, collection of talking books, and different collections of books that are popular with people. And we put them on the upper level for people to browse. And that's a picture of the area that we've put up some displays for people. These are our new self-check machines that Diane talked about. People really love them. They're very colorful and fun to walk up to. You can check out multiple materials at the same time by just laying them across that board. It also lowers and raises for people in wheelchairs and or children and taller adults. So they're very comfortable for people to use. We dressed up for Halloween and we welcomed everybody in the library. We had a little fun last week. I just thought I'd share that with you. The children's staff have come up with a fun idea to have craft programs at the library. We have these grab and go kits at the children's desk. So when people come and visit us, they can just grab a kit that has all their supplies and they can go home and make a craft that's relevant to either a picture book or a story or the seasons that we have going on. And just to give you a quick rundown on our numbers for October, we checked out 21,000 items. This is not ebooks. This is just our physical materials. We had 4,442 people come through our door. Borrow books, and we had 6,742 people come through the doors in October. So even with 15 people at a time, 4 hours a day, we've managed to have quite a few people stream through the library. So that's the end of my report. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Any questions for Peggy? That's amazing how many people have come through, even with the limitations. Amazing.
Yes.
It's good. It's good though.
Yeah.
You guys are staying safe. Okay. Any questions from any of the other commissioners? Okay. Thanks, Peggy. We will move on to our next item. The next item is reports from staff. So Margarita Mendoza.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. Just a few quick updates. On November 22nd, the very much requested and revered farmers market is coming back to the city of Campbell. It will be in a new location. It'll be at the Campbell Community Center in the parking lot. As I've shared in the past, one of the concerns during this pandemic with having the farmers market in the downtown Campbell area were just the multiple entry points, and now that we have the parklets, various other concerns around how they can operate, but we've been able to accommodate and find a really good home for them at the Campbell Community Center. So November 22nd, mark your calendars. It's very exciting to have our farmers market back. And as our Peggy, our librarian mentioned, Measure O, the general obligation bond project, which we call Measure O, that as it was titled in the ballot, the city council will be receiving a report on the status of the Measure O projects. Currently, they're in a conceptual design phase. For a few months now, the design firms that were hired to build both there's two firms, one for the library and the other for the police department. They've been meeting with staff to discuss the program needs, or how we currently operate, as well as how both the library and the police department want to operate in the future. And on December 1st, the city council will be hearing from both of those firms with some preliminary ideas in terms of what these conceptually what these projects will look like. So you are invited to tune in, and as we shared before, as there's more relevant or firm updates with Measure O projects, that staff will probably come back to the Civic Improvement Commission on specific items. We have our Public Works Director, Todd Capurzo, on this call with us right now. He's actually here for another item, for the Creek Trail mural item, but he is also the lead project director. He's the lead director. Public Works is leading this along with the city manager's office, but a lot of the driving is coming from Public Works. So Todd is also on this line if you have any questions related to Measure O, but did want to give everybody the opportunity to tune in on December 1st if they wanted to learn more. And then two just quick updates in terms of some fun holiday items coming up. The recreation is having the virtual, they have a popular visit with Santa every year. This year it's being held virtually, but it's good that it's happening. Recreation is adjusting just as all of our departments have. And so that sign up is up on the, if you go to the city's website under recreation, there's a link that'll take you to the registration portal. And the museum, I think you might have heard Carrie last month say that they're thinking, or they were considering opening the Kingsley House for family photos. They are doing that. And there's also a reservation system for that. So if you want to take your family photo this year at the Kingsley House, there's an opportunity for you to do so. So those are just some brief updates. And as I mentioned, Todd's here if you have any more Measure O, but definitely tune in on December 1st so you can see there's drawings, there'll be plans, there'll be a bit of a presentation in terms of how the projects are developing. Carol, you're muted.
Any questions for Margarita?
Margarita, on the farmers market, that'll still continue like it was every Sunday through the winter, and is that just going to continue on indefinitely until we kind of see how things pan out in the next year? That's
my understanding, yes. So I do think that that's a really good home for it. So I think it's going to operate pretty well, and we're excited just to have it back.
Yeah, and it's at the community center, but like, do you know kind of whereabouts it's?
So Todd, you may be able to help with us. I'm not sure. Was it over by the fields?
Yes. Hello, everyone, and good evening. My understanding is that it will be in the larger parking lot, which is kind of in between the track and the auxiliary gym and the Q wing area. So that's what we're anticipating, is it being out there.
Okay, great. Thanks, Todd.
Any other questions? Okay. Then we'll move to new business. Margarita, do you want me to just talk about these, or you want to bring it? I think you need to introduce number one.
Yeah, let me get there. I lost my agenda.
So this is, this is to appoint a liaison to the commission collaborative. There was I can talk to it a little bit. There was an email, I believe, that was sent out a few weeks back talking about working with and I've been doing it to this point, working with the mayor, with the other commissions. And so Margarita, if I understand it, we're looking to see who would like to be that liaison that will do that starting next year. I'm willing to do it, but I want to give other people, an option if you'd like to do it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Because we are looking to, because the city, the mayor would like to begin this new commission collaborative with a representative from each commission. It does require a vote of the commission to say who you want to send as your representative to this, from the Civic Improvement Commission to the commission collaborative. So our Chair Hoffman has volunteered to be considered. Not sure if anybody else wants to also be considered. But if not, we can vote. Diana, we would take a roll call vote so that we could have a formal vote on it.
Do we need to have a motion or no?
Yes, a motion and a second and a vote.
So, Carol, you're interested in taking on that role,
I would be happy to, unless somebody else would like to.
and nobody doesn't look like anyone.
We can always change things up partway through.
So I can make the motion to support or appoint Commissioner or Chair Hoffman to be the liaison between commissions on behalf of CIC. Do I have a second?
I second.
That was
Okay, I'll take roll call vote. Commissioner Chase? Commissioner Dooley?
Aye.
Commissioner Fields?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa?
aye.
And Chairperson Hoffman.
I guess I. Okay, great. And obviously this is something that would be, we want to share what we're doing and make sure that we're all on the same page. So, and I would report back on a regular basis as well.
And what will happen is once we get the decision from all of the advisory boards and commissions, then we will put the collaborative together, and then the mayor will announce when those meetings will be held. So we're still waiting for one other commission to respond.
And we've been doing it informally 2 or 3 times this year with just the chairs. So it wasn't somebody who was appointed. And I won't be chair next year. So, well, probably, assuming somebody else takes it. So let me, okay, let me move forward. Do you want to talk about the Los Gatos Creek Trail mural proposal?
Yes, actually, we're going to have a couple of guest speakers on this item. And so you'll be meeting a couple of people very shortly, but to introduce the item and introduce everybody who's going to address you will be our Public Works Director, Todd Purcell.
Okay, thanks, Margarita. So hello and good evening once again. I just wanted to help set the context on this project because there might be some names and organizations that you're not familiar with. And I know that ultimately we're going to get to the consideration of this mural project. I just want to make sure that you know who everybody is. So again, I'm Todd Capurso with the Public Works Department. And what you may not know is that Campbell is part of a joint powers authority for how we treat our stormwater runoff. We're in a what's called a joint powers authority, otherwise known as a JPA, along with the cities of Saratoga, Monte Sereno, and the town of Los Gatos. And collectively, we all provide funding for this program, and it's largely paid through the tax rolls. And the name of the JPA is the West Valley Clean Water Program. And so you'll see in the memo that you received that this is largely being coordinated by the West Valley Clean Water Program, and the executive director of that program is Sheila Tucker. And I see she's got her camera on, so maybe she could give us a nice little wave and smile, and you'll all know who Sheila is. And then I also want to point out that the actual nuts and bolts of this grant project is being coordinated by a group that's now called the South Bay Clean Creeks Coalition, who once upon a time started out life as the Friends of Los Gatos Creek. And that's how I got to know Mr. Steve Holmes once upon a time, who was a wonderful coordinator of volunteers and regularly brings people together to help clean creeks, as it started out in the West Valley, but now provides the service all throughout Santa Clara County. And so he does a wonderful job with that. And he'll be taking you through, I think, the majority of the presentation this evening. But I also wanted to introduce our relatively new, but maybe not so new anymore, environmental specialist, who's also on the call, Perry Newby, who just turned on her camera and she wasn't there, but I know she's on the call. And so if you ask questions, it might not be, you might not be surprised if they're answered directly by Steve, or if Sheila or Perry or I will also jump in for an assist. So without further ado, I think we're going to turn it over to Steve to take us through the mural proposals. So it's all yours, Mr. Holmes.
Alrighty, I'm going to share my screen here. Is that showing up for everyone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This sort of has moved forward with Sheila and myself. We had some conversations. We've done past art projects, and I'll be showing this in a moment, but we started thinking, you know, why don't we put another piece of art out along the trail, because the previous one is enjoyed by the community as they walk that trail. And it's really kind of a celebration of, you know, this resource that we have. And there's just so many great things that are going on. And it's a way to, you know, sort of educate, you know, the people as they're walking through these trails. And so let's move this to the next one. Okay. So this is the mural that my group put up in 2017, and it's down next to Blackford Elementary School, and it's on Lee Avenue. So where the trail ducks under there, that's where we placed this. And it showcased a couple of the animals that are returning to our watershed. Up in the right-hand corner, you have a beaver, and the beaver were basically trapped to extinction and were lost to the whole, you know, Bay Area 130 years ago. You know, they were trapped for their fur, for hats and clothing and whatnot. And now they're returning. So we have a vibrant group of beaver in the Campbell area. And we've actually captured video of a young kit after its birth, and had a name recognition thing where we did a social media blitz and ended up naming the beaver. And the most popular name, and the one we went with, was Justin Beaver. And on the left is a king salmon, Chinook salmon. And this is a fish that is trying to hang on. And in the 1990s, we had 2,000 of these fish coming into the watershed. And over the last, you know, 4 or 5 years, we've been monitoring them and working with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, harvesting some of the carcasses that came from the hatcheries. So we said, you know, if there's anything that we really want to be, getting into public awareness, this would be kind of the topics. And so this was our first endeavor. It's a 75-foot by 30-foot panel, and it's held up quite nicely. So where did this lead? Again, Sheila and I got to talking, and we said, let's see if we can get another art project going. So we approached the staff with Campbell and kind of told them what we'd like to be doing, Perry and Todd and others. And so we started with a call for artists, and this was broadcasted out through social media. And you have the Campbell Water Tower, which is a large Facebook page. They also shared it. And then we had some of the artist groups in the San Jose area, like Local Color, that came forward. And we received 10 proposals. And the first round of sort of eliminating the ones that we thought were the low-hanging fruit became kind of a challenge, because they were all pretty good. And so we passed on a reduced number to the Public Art Review Committee, and they have sort of distilled it down to 4 artists and their visions. And so I'm going to show these visions to you here, but let's go into kind of what we sort of, we are encouraging the artist to look at this from the standpoint of only rain in the storm drain, because there's a lot of ways that trash gets into the waterway. And, our group has been doing these cleanups now for almost 8 years. We're going to hit like the 1 million pound mark sometime in the next 6 months. Most of this is coming from encampment trash, but a lot of it comes from the streets. And so if we can educate the populace that, hey, here you are along this gorgeous waterway, and this is the impact of that trash. So trying to blend these two concepts together, and as always, trying to encourage the citizens, to help protect these watersheds, and then the volunteering aspect. And we've got about 4,000 people that, participate randomly at our different cleanups. We've actually got a big cleanup going this Saturday in Campbell at Creekside, and we'll be partnering with Clean Water, or West Valley Clean Water Authority at that cleanup. So here is artist number 1, and it's kind of a zany, look at the creek. And, so I think it would have, a pull for the young ones as well as, others. This was another artist rendering. Have an otter swimming with the baby, and it's sitting on it on top of it. This was another one, and we have the storm drain to the right, and we've got a gal playing, and this kind of tied to her because she talked about how she would get into these park areas, and she enjoyed the space and the time spent there. And the last one is more of kind of a whimsical look at the watershed, so kids playing and interfacing with the wildlife. And so these are our 4 finalists. And where we're going to go with that is we're going to basically, well, I guess we'll touch on that in a second on another slide here. So the other part of it was trying to figure out where would we put this, this mural. And we had about 9 sites from Bascom through Campbell, and this was the Creekside Bridge site, and it's 50 feet by 25 foot tall, and it's a perennial tagged spot. And so the thinking was, if we come in here and put a nice mural, we might prevent this from getting tagged. And as we found with the other mural, it's been in place for, almost 4 years now, and it's been tagged twice. We obviously will be putting the protective coating on it, and there will be a commitment with the artist to make sure that, we keep this, in its artistic form and prevent the tagging from remaining. But, and in the bottom, we've sort of instructed the artist to sort of keep it, light detail, so that it makes it easy for us to come in and fix any problems that may occur. This is the bridge structure under Creekside, and where I've taken this picture is looking through the fence off the bike trail. So the bike trail is right there, and this is what they would see. And so this was something that we sort of presented to the staff with the committee that was formed. And my thinking is go big or go home. And luckily they like this as the spot. And so this is where, we're going to be putting the mural. We've already come in and primered it, so the whole thing is coated in white at this point. And so, once we get the green light here, we will go to having a vote, and we will be having the community pick by liking the artist rendering that they like best. We have each of the image placed, and then sort of like a descriptive by the artist as to what they were trying to do with from the original proposals that they sent. And so we'll have this out for, I think we were saying like 10 days to 2 weeks. And then the art that gets the most likes is the one that we will be commissioning to do the work and, putting the art up. And it's a short-term agreement, no more than 5 years. But, my thinking is that once we get these in place, I like the idea of having these things, and that I want, not only are we doing this one, but in the future, I'd like to see about doing, another one somewhere in the Campbell area, because I think it's really kind of a celebration, that, to this, wonderful ribbon of life that goes through our community. So the way it's breaking down is we're kind of supporting the lead, but actually Sheila's been doing a lot of the support work on this, and I want to thank her for that, as well as the city. Perry's been great, and sort of moving things along. Our budget is $8,000 and we're both pitching in $4,000. And we figure that the artist will receive about $6,800. I've got some things that are going to be coming down the line, like the scaffolding that will be in place. It's kind of tricky because it's down to the water, but we did it once and we've got the same group. We'll be bringing them in. So we're going to be handling, obviously, the wall preparation. The paint will be as in with the artist, but the anti-graffiti and then the ongoing maintenance would be something that I would be working with the artist to get them in. We'll store some of the paint from the project so that should something happen, we can get out there and clean it quickly and then get the thing touched up by the artist and then resurfaced with the anti-graffiti paint. And that is it. So I'm going to drop off of the, stop sharing this. And I guess if you have any questions, Sheila was going to step in for this part.
Actually, too, if I could just say for a minute, I really do want to acknowledge Perry, who, well, the city of Campbell in general. Steve and I kind of came up with this idea and I floated it among all 4 cities, and Campbell was the one that said, yeah, I want to do it. And we were really just kind of thinking out of the box, trying to be innovative, trying to engage the community in different ways, trying to use social media in ways, as we're all challenged with opportunities to connect with our community. And I want to thank Todd for his leadership in actually spearheading this, and also Perry, who has, taken us through the day-to-day and getting the park commission together and really organized all the work that has gone to where we are today. And Steve, of course, who is really taking the lead and lifting the heavy load on this. So I just want to thank everyone and tell you how much we appreciate being a part of this project. And we really believe it's going to be a community asset and something that I hope we can all be proud of.
Thank you, Sheila and Steve and Todd. I'm excited. I just went past the other. I went past the other one today, this morning, actually. I was out on the trail, and every time I go by, I'm going, oh, we need a whole bunch of those to keep their graffiti down and have some beauty along the trail. So, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. So it's very exciting. Do any of the other commissioners have questions?
Or comments? This is an information. Yeah, this is an informational item that's coming to you as a Civic Improvement Commission. You have a role in providing. This is a public kind of a, what do they call it? An open competition project. So in some cases, the Civic Improvement Commission would be very involved in selecting the actual proposal. In this case, the way the project was scoped is an open competition where inviting the community vote, but it hasn't happened yet. And prior to that, our city staff and the West Valley Clean Water Program and the Crease Coalition wanted to come to you to present and solicit feedback or any comment you have to them as they get ready to put these out to vote to the community. And share your preference. I'm sure that they're interested in hearing what this first review of citizens has to say.
Yeah, so I wanted to just, echo thanks to Steve and Sheila and Todd and Perry, everybody who's involved, because obviously it's something that really impacts our community and is wonderful. And I'm on the subcommittee for our own kind of art initiative, public art in Campbell for this specific commission. And so, these are things that we want to see done as well. We've talked about mural projects. We've talked about, what's the best way to get them off the ground. And so, it might even be nice to kind of pick your brains a little bit, offline, if you guys would be open to that. As far as, how are you guys fundraising? What have you found success with on the previous mural versus this one? Or are you following, do you have the recipe for success that seems to have worked out well, things like that. So, I mean, that is kind of one of the main questions I have, for the $8,000, the budget of $8,000, where is majority of that funding coming from, and how easy or difficult was it to fund?
Well, I would just have to say on behalf of the Joint Powers Authority, so our program is funded, by the 4 cities that Todd had indicated that participate in our program, and we set aside $4,000 or $5,000 every year to do either grant matching or partnership programs. And one of the things that you may be aware of is a couple of years ago, our grant partnership went towards a Valley Water Grant, and 10 signs were installed along the creek trail from Los Gatos to Campbell. It was a partnership with the town of Los Gatos. And so I don't know if you've seen those creek trail signs. I also want to acknowledge Perry too, who really brought us home in the last few months in the installation of those signs. Those are 10 signs that take you through Los Gatos to Campbell and talk about what a watershed is and why stormwater is important and how you impact it and what pollution comes from, your day-to-day activities. And so just from a budgeting standpoint, we actually set aside, again, $4,000 to $5,000 a year, and we look for innovative partnerships with the cities or nonprofits or community groups, and we try to do innovative things, apply for grants, or just do new partnerships to help engage the community and in this case color the world a little bit with the education that's important to us in our program.
Yeah, real quick on my end, what I've discovered through these cleanups is that I can monetize these cleanups, and so it's created a war chest where we can take money to do some of these creative and fun things. One of the things I'm going to probably be doing is, after we let all these artists know that didn't make the cut, we're probably going to come back to like 3 of them and have them create canvas artwork of these versions of art that they've created, and then we can set up pop-up art along the trails and whatnot. So this wouldn't be a fixed structure, but it could just appear, and I think it would be exciting for the general public when they're going along the trail. Or it could be, you were talking about we've been to the farmers market and brought our art there as well, so that might be another place where we could come in and sort of enhance the experience for the people that are there and draw their attention to our streams and wanting to maybe come out and volunteer.
Okay.
Hey, one other question. You mentioned social media voting. What account or what entity is going to be asking for the votes? I was curious, how are you getting the word out on that?
So we're going to run it on South Bay Clean Creeks Coalition. I'm going to be touching bases with Campbell Water Tower and see if they'll share over the event. But the thing we want to make sure is that all the votes are going to be populated on our page versus having, Sheila's Facebook page, our page, all these, other pages. We've got to really push them to one site. So that's, what we came up with, is having it as one, one location. And as to when we're going to do it, I mean, once we get the green light, as soon as possible is how fast we want to move on this.
Yeah, and we'll be, we have a very close, obviously, relationship with the 4 West Valley communities that Todd mentioned. So we'll be resharing, and I think, the surrounding area that I think are really engaged, Saratoga, Los Gatos, Montessorino, will also be resharing that in kind of our local area here.
And anyone can vote. It doesn't matter what city they live in or what,
That is correct. Anyone can vote, but I think, we'll be pushing it mostly among the West Valley residents and those that are most engaged in our communities.
Sure. Great, thank
And
you.
question,
And you can only vote once, just in case you're wondering. We got that one down.
Go ahead, Commissioner. Go ahead.
Yes. First of all, I love the innovative ideas. I love the energy, and the project is great. What is the time frame from start to finish of the project? And assuming you get approval, as soon as possible.
So we'd be
Assuming you
looking
get,
oh, sorry about that.
assuming you get approval as soon as possible, what's the projected time frame for the project?
Well,
Start
we've
to
got
finish.
we've got the 2-week window of the social media, voting. Then while we're doing that, I can sort of be securing. We have to talk to the artists too, because some of the artists are saying that they can do the project in 2 weeks, and we had others that are saying 3 weeks. The other thing that could impact us is the weather. So if the weather, comes in, then that could kind of slow us down. One of the challenges we had with the other mural is that the artists had to bring all their materials down each day, which was just very burdensome. So we purchased a metal cage that can lock, and we'll leave it right down next to the mural. So it'll streamline their effectiveness on getting the work done faster. So our goal, ideally, I'd like to have this thing done, middle of December, maybe
That's soon.
before the new year.
Okay, great.
I just have one comment. We have done art boxes in the past. And so, I think that we may have some extra anti-graffiti coating left. If we do, you're welcome to it. And also Home Depot has been very kind in contributing supplies that we need. So, let me know, or, anything that we can do to help get this, get some of your supplies covered as well. We'd be happy to do that. And make sure that we get the link so we can vote. I think I may be on that page. I thought I saw something the other day from it, but everybody else may not be. So we'd like to support that.
Well, that's really great to hear, and we really appreciate that, because we were really trying to keep the artist honorarium as high as we could, but set aside the supplies that we needed to, get the wall ready, and also account for, any potential graffiti. So any in-kind services and materials and supplies would be much appreciated, and would only increase the artist honorarium to do the project.
And that's how we did the art boxes. We did about 30 of those, and we tried to get everything that we got contributed to us that we could get to the artist, because that's, so Diana, if I don't know where anything is. And
Yeah,
maybe
we have an area there in the council chambers, and we have quite a bit of gray primer. I think we have some rollers and lots of other type of miscellaneous painting supplies. So if any one of you want to, Todd knows how to get a hold of me. If any one of you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to let you know specifically what's available. And it sounds like the commission is willing to provide it to you. So just let us know.
I think the anti-graffiti paint would be awesome. The wall has been primered. I power washed it and we primered it. So we're good to go on that regard. But yeah, the anti-graffiti paint, that can be a bit pricey. So greatly appreciate your help with that.
Okay, I'll see if we have any of that left. I haven't really checked it out, but I'm happy to look at it tomorrow, and I'll let you know.
Thank you.
And you may want to check with Home Depot and see if they have, if they help out, tell them what you're doing, and they might. The manager there might do that. I'm not sure if it's the same manager who helped us, because this was a couple years back. The other question that I had, and because this is such a great idea, and it does cost money, obviously, but is there a way that we could, try and set out a bunch of spots that we want, and maybe have a 5-year or 6-year or whatever some plan out there to actually do this on a regular basis, so that we're beautifying, and I don't know how much Campbell can chip in on a regular basis, but we may be able to help fundraise or find ways to do that. But it would be great to have this be a launch pad for something we do next year and the year after. There's plenty of spots. There's one I I saw it today. So I did the whole creek trail today, and just kind of from Meridian all the way to the to Los Gatos. And you know, so I saw the one that you had, but I also saw some spots that it would be great to put up a mural instead of what they're doing to it, because they'll leave it alone, you know, once there's something up there. So I don't know, just food for thought. And you know, our commission could, you know, find some way to, you know, maybe partner with you if others want to do something like that. But make it a launch point, and then go from there. Make it which is what we did for the art boxes. We did it for 3 or 4 years, and we had about 30 spots, and then we just kept raising money. So the city didn't have any cost for these whatsoever. So we were able to do it that way. But anyway, kind of to what Marianne was saying, how do we find ways to, you know, join effort on art? Because all of us want more art and beautification, and the Creek Trail is one of those places.
So Carol, one thing, one of the offshoots from these cleanups that I've come up with is that I take the trash and I create art. And so I have an 8.5-foot shoe that I created that's covered with the balls that we find in the waterway. So it has like a tetherball, volleyball, football. It has golf balls. It has a couple of Union 76 balls, things that they used to put on antennas when I was young. And we found 2 of those in the watershed. So that's one of the pieces that I've got. We have I had shopping cart salmon early on that we created. And we actually had them down in the creek at Bascom during the Christmas periods of time. And so the trail people would be going through and they'd see these. And so we've taken that one step further. I've actually created a back canvas behind it. And, you know, so that could be a piece of pop-up art. And so what I wanted to do was do an art walk along the creek and have different destinations and talk about the resources. So you have shopping cart salmon. Well, we can talk about the salmon and the great videos that we've gotten and captured of those. I have a beaver that I created on a old mattress, like a child's mattress that had no fabric. It's just the metal, rusted metal. And so we floated river glass pieces with bronze wire. And then I floated a beaver in on top of it that is created with cigarette butts. And then the tail is a tire. So, you know, what I'll do is I'll send this to Perry, and if I can get those art pieces, you know, to you so you can view them. They're just zany and fun, but you know, it's you know, I want to get these things out there so people see them, because they gravitate towards them, and it's fun, you know, to see the reactions of people.
Yeah, and Steve does some incredible events, inviting the kids in the community to come and take the trash and create art. It's really exciting. It's really fun.
I think I'm also on the public art subcommittee with Marianne, and one of the things we would love to see is those images, because we're talking about temporary art on top of maybe more permanent stuff. So we'd love to take a look at those and maybe collaborate on it. It'd be wonderful.
I'd be more than willing to do that. That'd be awesome.
Steve, you can you have my email and phone now, so feel free to send them to me, and that way I can just forward them directly, and I can get you in touch with the subcommittee, so everybody can be in touch.
Very good. I'll shoot them over to you after this meeting.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much. No further feedback or questions, then we can thank our presenters, and then I can turn it over back to the chair for.
Yes,
thank
you.
And I want to thank the commission for your support on this, and also Margarita, who's been awesome and getting us to you and communicating and helping us bring this item to you this evening.
Thank you again. It's wonderful to meet everyone. I swear, Steve, we must have crossed paths at some point, since I've done some cleanups here and there, but hopefully again. And the people on that subcommittee, Commissioner Yoshikawa, Commissioner Fields, and I believe Commissioner Kaufman.
Correct.
That's the 3.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, you kind of have faces and all that, since we're all in the same place. Okay, well, thank you. No further questions, anybody? Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great presentation. Okay. So Margarita, we'll move on to the youth job fair.
And we have another guest speaker joining us, and someone who I've just recently virtually met, even though we're colleagues. She joined the city in March. Is March correct, or April? Julie?
Yeah, it was just in March.
Yeah, so we that's when shelter in place began, and I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person, but here we all are on Zoom. Julie is our recreation specialist with the Campbell Recreation Department. She is also the liaison to the Youth Commission, and she has the great joy of working with these like engaging teenagers who want to change the world and are really working at it, in their community, and have these great ideas and work plans, very similar to yours. And as you all may recall from our own work plan discussions, the Civic Improvement Commission has partnered with the Youth Commission in prior years to host a job fair. As we were discussed, I believe last year there was a dialogue about, well, maybe now the Youth Commission can own this job fair project and host it on their own, or develop into whatever project they want it to be. So it didn't quite make it into our work plan. However, since then, Julie has reached out to us and said the Youth Commission has interested once again in exploring a job fair. They had their own meeting on Monday, which Carol and I joined as just listeners and observers, and Carol was able to, Chair Hoffman was able to dialogue with them a bit. And what we said we would do tonight is bring this back to this commission for discussion in terms of, is this something that you'd be interested in partnering again with the Youth Commission? What they said on Monday, and Julie, you can summarize it, but I'll just take a quick stab. It has to look different, right? We can't have traditional big, lots of tables, lots of employers at Orchard City Banquet Hall. It's going to definitely look different. It might not be in February as it's been in years past, because it's just the timings, there's too many unknowns yet. But the agenda item tonight is to discuss the potential partnership. If this commission is interested in partnering with the Youth Commission, and what that might look like, and any feedback we want to share with Julie, or that Julie could share with us in terms of how we can partner together. Anything you want to add, Julie?
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up pretty well. Yeah, just thank you for taking the time to talk about this today and inviting me to join you guys. Yeah, I just started back in March, and this is my first Campbell Youth Commission, so I haven't gotten to see the job fair in the past, unfortunately, but I know the kids are really excited about it. They think it's a really important event, so they would like to make it happen in some way. They discussed, if it could be a virtual thing, how to make it interesting enough to be enticing still, or if it could potentially be moved back closer to summer and make it possible to do something in person. But of course, there's a lot of unknowns. So yeah, we're just kind of interested if you guys still want to partner in that project, or if it's something better that we can just take on, which is totally fine also, but we'd love to just kind of hear from what you guys think.
So I'll make just a quick comment, and then I really want to hear from the other commissioners. I was part of the last time that we did the youth job fair, and a lot of things, when I talked to them on Monday, a lot of things have changed. COVID especially, not just the way they would set up the job fair, but the actual availability of jobs that the youth would be able to do. The way that it was set up before, it was more of we went out and did outreach, and so did the Youth Commission. And with that, then put together the job fair, and more of a, this commission was more of a consultation. And so the way that it was done before, it's going to have to change completely. And if there's somebody who, if anybody's interested in partnering with, more of being consultants with the Youth Commission, because I would recommend that the youth commission, think through what they want to do with a job fair, what they want to get out of a job fair, and talk to a few places that may, they should take that part on. Talk to some places that they might want to try and include, because a lot of the ones that we had last year may or may not be in business, and definitely may or may not be hiring. So, love to hear from all the commissioners and see if anyone's interested in partnering. I would propose, there's a couple of proposals. There's the job fair, and then there's also just in general partnering with the youth commission to see where we can mentor or support or whatever that may be, throwing that out there as an option. So I'd love to hear from especially some of the new commissioners who may not be on a lot of committees, if there's something that you might like to do. So I will open the floor for feedback.
I would definitely be interested in something like this. Through my work, we usually do a job fair. We had to cancel ours this year. And we're looking at May of next year. But again, don't know if that's even going to be possible, because we couldn't find a way to put it together with the two obstacles that you already mentioned, which were the virtual job fair was a little strange, and also finding agencies and potential job sources that were even willing to do it. Hopefully that will change a little bit. And we did this 2 months ago and it was nearly impossible. So we just couldn't even do that. But it's definitely something that I would be interested in, at least consulting and even collaborating, depending on how it relates back to our commission.
Great. So we've got Commissioner Dooley and myself. I would like to, put together a subcommittee. Anybody else who is interested in working with the youth, something that they'd like to do? And again, we want to see the youth take the lead, but we want to be able to partner. And it sounds like Commissioner Dooley has a lot of experience in that, which is great. We could be a subcommittee of two. That's okay. Commissioner Chase, do you have any comments or?
Not necessarily as for joining the committee or this new subcommittee, but I guess I had one kind of beginnings of a thought in that to kind of couple taking it in a virtual direction and yet also if both weather and county guidelines permit having something in person. Usually for a job fair, at least that I've attended, you kind of go in not knowing what you're going to be looking at. Or knowing who's going to be there. So you get the idea of who you want to talk to and what you want to learn and research while you are there. But if you can get everything organized and arranged prior and then give access to that information to the public and almost allow them to schedule a time slot to look at certain booths or vendors to be there, you can in that way limit who is able to show up in person for how much time. Enforcing the timelines might be a little difficult. I don't necessarily know how that would work, but it just kind of made me think instead of people going in blind in this way, virtually, you would allow them to come in knowing who they want to talk to. And then once they get there, like you say, okay, you are scheduled to see these people during this time. And then that would be when you get to discuss with them at the fair, kind of more like how they do in high school, because they have limited space. You would have to schedule a time slot to speak with certain people. And in this way, you could kind of limit interaction and hopefully kind of keep up the 6-foot distancing rule if you chose to pursue doing things in person. That was just something that I kind of started to think about here.
Thank you. Those are good thoughts. And Julie can take some of that back to the Youth Commission and they can think about what works best for them. But that's really good suggestions. Try some of that came up in the discussion on Monday as well, I think. Anyone else have comments?
I was just kind of trying to think of, alternative, just alternative events, or, you know, just see how you might try and pivot. I don't know, just, you know, are there different avenues? Is there something you can do virtually? Is there something that you can kind of just like be the matchmaker of, like, you know, kind of try and bridge the gap by matching people up with potential employers just in this environment because of the pandemic. You know, I don't know. I mean, there might be other opportunities to do, you know, just a little bit different event, and maybe table the job fair, the traditional job fair for a year or so. You know, I don't know. I was just trying to think of like, what are the options and opportunities out there? And I just wanted to, you know, kind of bring up that you could think of something entirely different as an option. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you guys keep that in mind too, like, you know, get creative and you could think of something very, something that you haven't never done before or thought of before. Not that I wish I could give you a great example, but
I know that's the thing. It's been such just a roadblock kind of, but that actually you saying that kind of sparked an idea for me where we would maybe highlight job opportunities on their social media accounts, and we could show like a little video of a person that works at that job and what they like about the job, and then link the like job application in the comments and things like that. Is
even
that popped into my head.
Even have like a dedicated web page where you highlight all of the you know, employers that have participated in the past or who would like to participate this year, who have like who might have employment opportunities available. And you could, you know, it's almost like an online dating, right? Where, you know, you're looking at profiles and, you know, there might be this job and that job and job descriptions. And, you know, you want to see like where people can, like the students could go in and look at what's available and what appeals to them and why. And, you know, yeah, you can add photos and videos or descriptions, but, you know, maybe you have it like a job fair, a virtual job fair page, or, you know, web page that's kind of interactive, or where people can comment or connect or contact.
Thanks, Marianne. Yeah. So let me ask a question, Margarita. If we want to have a youth job fair / youth subcommittee, and we want to put that on the work plan of being, I don't know if we'd call it supporters or, you know, that they could use us as, or I guess, consulting for the job fair and youth activities, that kind of thing. Is that something we could put on the work plan, or does it need to be more specific?
That's something you can put on your work plan. You just vote to add a subcommittee, you know, add a subcommittee and an item to your work plan.
So we need somebody to make a motion, yes?
Yes, and a second and a vote.
Somebody besides me to make a motion.
I move to create a new subcommittee from the Civic Improvement Commission with the Youth Commission. And do we have to do one at a time?
No, you can just title the item as you want it. So a joint subcommittee with the Youth Commission to vote to work on
whatever their projects are or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't have to be just the job fair.
Yeah.
There may be other things that they need.
Okay.
So I was thinking if we don't restrict it too much, then that way the Youth Commission we can figure out where we can add value for them.
Okay, so I move to create a subcommittee to work with the Youth Commission on projects.
Second.
Second, Fields.
Yes, that was Commissioner Fields.
Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Chase.
Aye.
Commissioner Dooley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fields.
Aye.
Commissioner Kaufman.
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Aye.
and Chair Hoffman.
Aye.
Do we need to make a motion to put it on the work plan? Is that what you were saying as well, or?
That's what this motion was, to put it on the work plan.
Oh, sorry.
You
Yeah.
indicated create a subcommittee. So do we want to add the word work plan to the motion?
That would be, that would be added to our work plan.
Yeah, so create a subcommittee and add it to the work plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Because our work plan still has to be reviewed by the council. So we want to give them choices in case, you know, they have directions they want us to kind of work in. Oh, the other thing that we didn't mention, we should have a new commissioner next month, and then we'll be full up again. And that next meeting, whatever the next city council meeting is, when they will announce that, they will announce who the new commissioner is. I don't know who it is, so.
On Tuesday, November 17th, and yeah, usually we find out right like live during the meeting when they announce who the commissioner is.
Right. So I just thought I would mention that. Okay, then I will keep moving on. It's getting late. So next item is good of the game. Does anybody have, thank you, Julie, by the way, for joining us today. And I hope we can help you out. We can work together and help you guys out, and vice versa. We may need their help too, you know.
Yeah, please reach out if you guys have any other ideas or ways we can collaborate. I'd love to keep working together. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks. Okay, next up, good of the game. And so that is, and for those who may or may not remember, if you have any upcoming events that you want to share, I know we've had several commissioners share, please speak up. I don't have anything this time. Nothing?
We're a little slow on events these days with.
Yeah, I know. Normally I would be giving you this list of, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I do have one. We actually are doing this. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet. We haven't figured it out. We're working with the downtown chamber, basically for their toy program. And we're going to find out how many kids, but we think there's about 2,000 kids in need in the Campbell School District. These are K-8, and we will work to get them toys somehow. So we're going to do drive-through toy drives on Saturdays starting, I think it's the 28th, to gather as many toys as we can at the home church, and also get donations and contributions. So it's a community toy event. There's a lot of us where I'm with the Rotary Community Corps, and there's people from the police station and fire station and a lot of folks doing this. So it's a big event. We may need a few hands on deck, but I'm a little concerned about volunteers and COVID and how we do that. You have to be together to do toys. So how do we do it? Can we do it outside? Can we do it distanced and all that? But that event is starting up in the next week or two, and there will be a link on the Chamber Foundation page for contributions if you want to share that with people who want to, because we'll probably need a lot more money to cover these 2,000 kids. There's a lot more need than there was a year ago, yet fire stations can't collect toys. So it's just us trying to figure it out. So contact me if you have any questions. So that's I knew I'd come up with something. I knew I was doing something.
Should I have one as well?
Go ahead.
I just remembered this. So one of the other organizations that I've worked with before, called Hero Tent, on Instagram on November 21st, we'll be doing a Thanksgiving bake-along where they'll teach you at 2 p.m. How to make simple, delicious desserts to bring to their Thanksgiving Day giveaway. On the day of Thanksgiving, they will be aiming to pass out and feed 1,000 people. in the downtown San Jose area. So this is something they do. They do pancake breakfasts every Saturday. So they're pretty good at this, and they're taking donations and they're looking for volunteers. And find them on Instagram at Hero Tent. And that's it for me.
Awesome. You always have these cool things that we've never heard of before. I will share that. Anything else? Okay. Then we'll go to the subcommittee reports and explore art.
So we had a good meeting and talked about, kind of honed in our mission statement. Actually, I don't, Davis, do you happen to have that handy, the mission statement that we came up with for?
I do.
I have it, but not.
It is, we said it was, and you deserve all the credit for coming up with it, so I'll just read it. Beautify, engage, and connect our community through public art displays.
Love it.
That is our, I didn't want to botch it. I would have probably, used different words and completely changed my own thought on it. But so thank you for digging that up. We decided that we needed to, really hone in on a mission statement first and figure out, that's kind of the backbone of the subcommittee and what we wanted to accomplish. So we did lock that down, and Margarita was nice enough to join us as well. And we are looking to, once we get all of the commissions together and the subcommittees reporting through, I think it was the city manager and the council, correct? Is that right, Margarita? That once we get kind of that interaction going in the new year?
Once we present our work plans, right? And then the council, as Chair Hoffman had said earlier, like they give us feedback and say, oh, this is a good idea to concentrate on. Yeah. So
yeah,
in January.
Yeah. So we're kind of, want to just waiting for that, but we did want to, hone in on a couple ideas, like, what is our mission and what are we trying to achieve, and definitely wanted something that was high level and could sustain us year over year and could expand and contract as needed with various projects. So Davis, Bill, you guys have anything else to add? I know I've been completely, a little out of it for the last couple of weeks, just with the election and everything. So I just have not, that I haven't been able to focus on anything really.
We had a good set of meetings and figured out our monthly get together time, and we're just ready for January to come. We're ready for 2020 to be over like everyone else, and for January to come and to have the city council check in and really get going on the work. I think that's pretty much where we are.
And I do believe that in December there may the subcommittee will want to preview with you the presentation that they will give to the council as
Yeah, I think we're working on a PowerPoint that we started, but it's an unfinished product at this point, but we'll present it to the CIC commission, I think in December.
Yeah, at the December 12th meeting, right?
And something that resonated as I was listening to this, the Creek Trail mural presentation and is ownership. And I know we've talked about it in the subcommittee meeting, right? Like, so if it's a city facility, I said it's probably easier for us to do it, right? Because it's a city facility, we have a little bit better a say, right? As we have ownership of the property, so we can facilitate that. And same thing with the creeks, right? So the Creek Trail and the West Valley Clean Water Program, along with, it's all about kind of like who has management of that area and how, and that particular authority has the power to move things faster.
Yep.
So more to come in December from this awesome subcommittee. Oh, you're muted, Carol.
Yeah, it just told me I was too. So I just hope we get some art out there sooner than later. And if we can find ways to get that pop-up art out there, you know, if he can put fish and shoes and all kinds of things, we should be able to find a way. And maybe, you know, maybe start now that we have the farmers market back, you know, shoot, get a lot of visibility out there. So thank you guys so much, because I know it's a lot of work, and whatever we can do to help move it along, let us know.
Thanks.
Okay. Next subcommittee report is Neighborhood Association Assistant Grant. Mary, Commissioner Yoshikawa, you are just like, you know, if you're, you know, and by the way, anybody, anytime, if we need to adjust subcommittees, that's allowed. It's not like you're bound, you know, if you're going, oh, this is too much, can somebody take this for me? Don't feel bad about that. So,
yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm, you know, I had every intention of having a subcommittee meeting within the last couple of weeks, and just never got to it. So apologies, but that will be top on the list with both of those to, you know, get things rolling in the next week or so. Since I've been through that process on both ends many times. So it shouldn't be too bad, you know, when we get the subcommittee together to just run through and talk through the process and find out, you know, the criteria and how we want to, you know, what we need to do to change and modify, if anything. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can do enough cleanup that we streamline it. That was the request and you know how that all works. Yeah. And Margarita, we want to get something so that can be on the agenda in December, right? So that we can review it and approve it. And when do we have to? Well, we can do whatever we want, right? So as far as the timeline, we want to get it through so we can get it out to the neighborhood associations, but everything's changed with COVID. So
yeah,
you know, maybe it doesn't go out in January like it did before. Maybe it goes out in February or March, and we just try and get things back in June, or, you know.
Yeah. We'll push for, you know, we'll try and get, you know, whatever, you know, specifics together before our December 12th or December 10th meeting. So I don't see there any big obstacles to doing that. Okay. So that's what we'll target, but it is nice to know that we can, you know, we're already pushing things and moving things around a little bit. Things are evolving a little bit, you know, with COVID, and we're being flexible. So yeah, if it pushes out a few weeks or a month, then I think we have the flexibility to do that as well. So sorry to, you know, my fellow commissioners on the committee. I will be reaching out.
How do we put everything on you guys? We didn't mean to do that.
No,
but yeah, I mean, if we can have something by the end of the month, at least a draft or something to review, it'll give us a chance to help move your approval through. So it's not, we don't have to wait for yet another month. Otherwise we have to throw in a work, you know, study session, and we don't want to do that. So
yeah, no, nobody wants that.
Great. So any other questions around the neighborhood grants? Okay, last is Campbell Cares. So subcommittee, what have we done? Nothing. So Mary Ann, we're not being hard on you. But I think Commissioner Chase and Dooley, we probably want to talk about, you know, find a time to talk about what do we want to do? You know, what kind of projects do we actually want to do, and then maybe present those to, you know, to the group next month or something. Because it can be whatever we want it to be. That's why it's set up that way. It can support seniors, it can support youth, it can support anything. It can, you know, anything. So you know, we had focused on suicide prevention. That was something that we did. That was the project. But so, you know, I think we should do something and try and get together. I have a little more free time than I had, so I can I can make you know, I can make time when it works for you guys. And but I you know, we should have something a little solid on there. I'm just trying to be as prepared as I can by the end of the year, so that when we go to the So when we go to the council, it's like, well, we've really thought about what's important for us to do for the work plan for this year. And then they can say, oh gosh, did you think about this or that or whatever? But I want us to be as thoughtful as we can. So
yeah, and I think it's good for all of the subcommittees, right, to really focus on kind of honing in for the December, our December commission meeting, just because for that very reason. So just to kind of focus and hone in on what it is we want to do, that so that it reflects our work plan, and we have some kind of teeth or I guess meat to it when we teeth meat. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. My dinner's sitting over there getting cold, but
yeah. So for January, I think it'd be good if we can kind of really focus on getting that wrapped up in December, right? That's just, I hope you guys all agree, or if you don't, then obviously let's chat a little bit more about it.
And is there a time that'll work for you two that we can get our Campbell Cares together, certain days of the week or certain times of the day? Or because I know Commissioner Chase has a lot of different plates in the air, and and we all kind of do. And it's also the holidays, so maybe we do it right after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Get through the one holiday. And you guys we're doing Zoom meetings, right? Even for the subcommittees, I'm assuming, yes? Okay.
Now we're all partying to get together in the same room.
I've only gone out to eat twice, so yeah.
So just to add to that, Commissioner Hoffman, Thursdays that aren't this Thursday generally are good, because have several other things going on during the weeks as well. But Thursdays are generally good.
How about, okay, then maybe Thursday the 3rd after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
if that works for Commissioner Chase, and then we'll.
Personally, I would say Thursdays are my one day that I would rather not have anything else happen, just because the time slot between the end of work and then having a meeting can usually get tight. And depending on how long things go, I would like to have dinner at a reasonable time as well. So Thursdays take it a little too late for me.
And what's your proposal?
Would Tuesdays work?
Tuesdays do not work for me at all. I have another commitment at 7:15 on Tuesday nights. But Wednesday the 2nd, which is the day before we were just talking about, looks open right now.
Wednesdays should work, I believe. I will double check.
And and as I'm listening, and I was listening to the chairperson talk about what Campbell Cares can be, and there's different focus areas. I started thinking, like, well, that kind of sounds like if you do a youth focus, it's kind of what we're talking about, a joint project with the youth commission, right? If you want to focus on some aspect of youth, right?
Yeah, well, I think Campbell Cares is actually trying to bring things to the community. I think the youth should stay separate.
Okay.
And that's why, suicide prevention was what we picked before, but there may be some other ways we can work with the community. So Campbell Cares is really a community focused, a little bit different. That's why I took them actually separate, because, we're doing, serving the seniors. We're doing that anyway for now, but that's not what we're, all of us as a group are doing right now. So so what we will do is I think we picked a date, which is great. December 3rd. I'll have to check and see if I have anything. And
the 2nd, actually, the
2nd. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my calendar and I can't count. And then I don't know if there's a time that people prefer. I'm pretty flexible. Anytime after 6:30 or so, I'm usually flexible.
Yep.
That works for me as well.
Do you want to say 7?
7's great.
All right.
Okay. All right. We made decisions tonight. We did a lot. That's all I have on the agenda. Any last comments before I close the meeting? Okay, I will. A huge thank you to Margarita and Diana for helping us get the agenda together. It has been a challenging month at best, I think we could say. So, So thanks, everybody. I will adjourn the meeting at 9:02 p.m. I was trying to get to 9 o'clock, but darn it.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.